Ladies and gentlemen, to sit here and ask you if you remember hearing me say a few things in the past 3 weeks. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and report what happened, because I think you do remember. I think of all the people in this country who are not really surprised that everything that happened yesterday election-wise, it's probably you in this audience. Great to have you with us. Here we are back with more broadcast excellence. Rush Limbaugh, the EIB Network, and the Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies. Telephone number 800-282-2882. The email address lrushbaugh@eibnet.com. How many of you in this audience watch the TV show Justified on the cable channel FX? It's a shame. You should, but it's a shame. Those of you who watch it, let me read to you a little story here. This was from last night while the vote count was still going on. Obama has now lost 8 West Virginia counties to federal inmate number 11593-051. Federal inmate 11593-051. That is who beat DePreezy of the United Steezy in at least 8 counties in West Virginia. A federal inmate slow jammed DePreezy. In West Virginia, Obama was unopposed. In North Carolina, Obama was unopposed, and 20% of North Carolinians chose other. And I sit here and I look at what happened in Wisconsin. Scott Walker, the sitting governor, the Republican, against whom the Democrats have mounted this recall effort. The Democrats had a primary to choose who's going to oppose Walker in June. Walker, whatever happened to Walker on the ballot last night didn't matter. He was unopposed. The Republicans did not have to show up for Scott Walker. He's the governor. He's going to be the candidate in the election in June. The contest, and the only contest in Wisconsin, was between the 2 Democrats. Scott Walker got more votes than the 2 Democrats combined. Now, how much money have the unions spent in Wisconsin to get out the vote, to intimidate Republicans from voting? How much has the media reported that all the enthusiasm's on the Democrat side? How many stories have you seen just in the last week that the Tea Party is dead? How many stories have we effectively countered that assumption, the Tea Party is dead, that assertion? We move to Indiana, where Richard Murdoch beat Dick Lugar by 20 points. The latest polling data had Lugar losing by 10. This was a landslide of historic proportions. It was a Tea Party victory from top to bottom. I didn't know this until last night. Do you know, and Snerdley told me this morning, he just found out too, Dick Lugar hasn't lived in Indiana for years. He's the senator from Indiana, and when he goes back there, he has to stay in friends' homes or hotels. He does not have a home in the state that he represents. It's usually Democrats that do that. Now, Lugar's a nice guy. I don't want to misunderstand this, and I made the point yesterday when talking about this, that Lugar's just a nice guy. Remember, all of the pre-election news coverage yesterday in Indiana was all about how Lugar goofed it up strategically in his campaign. And I pointed out, isn't it fascinating, when Republicans or conservatives win, it never has anything to do with issues. Have you noticed that? Issues and substance, not a factor. Lugar blew this. Lugar didn't take Murdoch seriously soon enough. Lugar didn't get down in the gutter soon enough. Lugar didn't take the campaign seriously. Lugar didn't do this. I am here to tell you there's nothing Lugar could have done. There is nothing Lugar could have done. USA Today, a lot of drive-by media headlines today about how disappointed Democrats are that Dick Lugar lost. What else do you need to know? The people in the state of Indiana have known for a long time what's wrong there. There is a conservative rebellion going on. There is resurgent conservative Tea Party, I don't care what you call it, energy out there that the drive-bys probably know exists, but they're in a state of denial. Just as they try to write that the Tea Party's dead and the Occupy movement is where it's really at, they know that it's 180 degrees out of phase. They know that the Occupy movement is dead and it was never real to begin with. They know that the Tea Party is real, that it is huge, that it is reverberating, that it is effervescing, and it is exploding. The senator from West Virginia, Joe Manchin, refused after he voted yesterday to tell anybody if he voted for Obama. He wouldn't admit in a Democrat primary where a federal inmate won 8 counties. And this guy is, if you watch Justified, that federal inmate is West Virginia's Boyd Crowder. Obama essentially lost to a Boyd Crowder type guy if you watch Justified. If you don't watch Justified, that analogy is not going to mean anything to you, and it's sad that it doesn't. Boyd Crowder is an incredible character in one of the best TV shows on television. The character is your average Kentucky hayseed, drug-running, moonshining, sophisticated, nevertheless, criminal. James Carville is not spinning it. James Carville, both written and spoken word, is basically spanking the Democrats. You people think you can't lose this? You can't lose it? I tell you what, you're going to be in gumbo if you don't wake up. He is nervous. This gay marriage business. Oh, in North Carolina, let me tell you something. All the news stories. North Carolina defeats same-sex marriage. It's not what happened in North Carolina. They'd already done that. What the constitutional amendment in North Carolina was simply a definition of marriage. And they put it in their constitution that the definition of marriage cannot change. It is a union of a man and a woman, and that's it. And they put it in the constitution, the form of this amendment that was voted on, and that won big. That was huge. That was pretty much expected, but it's still a shock and a disappointment. Everywhere the media looks today, where there were elections, everywhere the Democrats, the White House looks today, folks, if they've been living in denial, yesterday was the biggest wake-up call that they've had in probably 3.5 years.